Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. My special guest today is Jennifer Tefft and her bandmates, The Strange. It's a new band. It's great. We're listening to it right now. In fact, we're listening to Enemy, and it's off the Time is a Thief album. So if you want to check that out, you guys are everywhere, right? Your Spotify, your wherever they find their music, they can find you. Is that
Yep.
true?
Yep. Can't get away from us.
You're not hiding. Okay, welcome back. Great conversation. So let me ask you, Jennifer, what does John Parrillo bring to the band that only John could bring?
Only John could bring really bad dad jokes. No.
There's that.
No, John, I always
Dad
say,
jokes are the best.
well, you haven't heard his jokes.
I
Um,
would probably still laugh, John. You can call me anytime. I'll laugh.
aw.
Go ahead.
I said this recently. I think, I don't know who I said it to, but I said if John decided he didn't want to play anymore, that would be the end of the project because he's as much, no, and I mean that he is as much a defining element of the sound as I am. You know what I mean? And we've grown up together musically. We've been together for gazillions of years, and we've gone from playing acoustic cover tunes together and an acoustic original duo together to writing our songs and learning how to arrange songs and um, things like that. And he is just extremely unique on his approach to things, and he translates my silly music speak when I say like I want something like squeaky over here, like blah 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 over here. You know, he
He
understands what,
knows what that means.
yeah, and that's hard to find. Most
Yeah.
people look at you like you're an idiot, you know. So he's very creative. He doesn't, you know, he can play all the licks that, you know, all the great guitar players can play, but you know, understands that sometimes like the economy of notes, you don't need to play 80,000 notes to make something. Sometimes it's three notes played just the right way with the right sound that really makes the impact. And on this new album, I think we could, like when we were listening back to the rough mixes before, like as we were tracking and, you know, Bob was sending us stuff, like I was like, I don't even want to put vocals on this. I just want to listen to the band and the guitar and everything, because it really, he's really just grown into a great artist.
Huh.
Let
Thank you.
me mention what each one of you do, just for listeners that are new to the band. Jennifer Tefft, she's vocals and guitar. John Parrillo, who just had such a great and such kind words said about him,
Oh,
and all true. He's lead guitar. Stephen Sharky Beccia, bass guitar.
Beccia.
Chris Georgenes, drums. Chris has not joined us yet. I think he's stuck in traffic, but trying to get to a Zoom near us. But that's what each one of you has, a respected instrument and place in the band, obviously. So next question is for you, John. Stephen Sharky is bass guitar complements lead guitar, right? Really well. And describe a moment playing with Sharky that just blew you away. Do you remember a
Wow.
moment that you just said, okay,
So many. I guess I would say like most specifically recording recently, when we recorded Lullaby. Like that's a song like I think Sharky's bass just growls and like lays down the bottom end of the whole song for me. And quite often, like where I reside in our, I don't know, our musical band structure is somewhere between the root note and some dissonant place. And Sharky kind of keeps me anchored. Always performing live. I like to have a lot of him in my monitors because I really want to feel him and hear him. And but like the tones he had in his bass when recording that song, and it just, I don't know, grounded me and floored me at the same time. Like it's really like, and he really actually came up with good ideas for my own arrangements as well, which helped propel the song, I think. So that was a big moment. But there's many others. Caffeine
Mhm.
in rehearsal, that was another one that blew me away. Like we're like Jen's on a break and here we are jamming, and all of a sudden he and Chris are just grooving on this thing. He says I came up with something. I think he came up with something, but I don't know. There's a lot of interchange going on between us, I think, and it's a nice dance. No.
Yeah.
I
wanted
don't
to
know. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Sorry. So for me, there's a song on the album called Should Have Known Better. And a lot of these songs I wrote on acoustic guitar, and they were something completely different. And, you know, I play them for the band, and sometimes they're kind of like, oh, we really don't know where to start, what to do. And Sharky just started this bass line that I was like, oh, that's so nasty. And it was like perfect for the tone of the song. And it took the song completely out of where I started it, where I wasn't real psyched with what was happening, and turned it into this like amazing sort of alt rock angry anthem. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
It was really cool, you know, and I think that was the first time too, because that was before we wrote Caffeine together.
Right.
That was the first time I really was like, because, you know, I knew we could play together, but I wasn't sure how like the writing and creating together was going to work yet, because we hadn't really ventured there. We were just learning songs and how to play together. And that was kind of a moment where I was like, wow, yeah, this is going to be good. This is a lot of creative exchange here. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is cool how we just kind of throw things out there. I think that's the fun thing about this band is that, you know, everybody is being themselves. Like we've been through, we know who we are, we know how we play, we know how we sing. And then when we get in there and everybody just applies themselves, you know, it just all just kind of meshes together in this amazing melodic, I don't know, just this chemical blend. I don't know how else to put it, but
In Caffeine, I hope this is a compliment, and I try never to compare anybody to another, but the guitar and the bass guitar in that song made me go back to like an early U2. Remember the Unforgettable Fire? I almost heard, you know, it felt like that kind of that, I don't know, was it 80s, early 90s, that
Yeah.
feel that gave you?
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a compliment. I
Thank you.
just loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, you know, it's funny because John's tone and sound and, you know, it just was like, it had a little bit of a U2 thing. And I was like, yeah, I want to grab the pick and give it that raw, you know, thump and bass sound, you know, so.
Well, it's totally your own. But it kind of, what it brought back was like, you know, how a good song or just even a guitar, that sound can bring you back to a moment, and it just brought back good moments for me. And then I thought, what does that make me think of? And I had to go back and look at it, but it's uniquely your own, and you guys are great together. What's the relationship, if you could put it into words, between a lead guitar, a guitar player, and a bass player? What do they mean to each other? How do they work together? Like in musically, is it, if you can put that into words?
John,
Oh,
you know, the bass is the foundation. I mean, sometimes I like to play lead bass, you know. I'm a huge John Entwistle, you know, Geddy Lee, Chris Squire fan, but sometimes, you know, you got to lay down the solid, you know, the cake, and John, all the icing and extra stuff on the cake.
Does
Yeah.
one come before the other, or do you guys just kind of jam together and it comes together?
Yeah,
I think ultimately it comes together, right?
Yeah.
But it is like Sharky said, with like the icing on the cake, because like he really is laying down a foundation, and like I said earlier, that keeps me rooted in what we're doing, because I don't reside in root notes. I'm in some sort of dissonant place, but I'd be lost without him. So it's sort of like, it's very, like we feed off of each other, I think, very much.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
is that the same for you vocally? Is he an anchor for you?
We actually just rearranged how we standing on stage, because, you know, after years of playing rock music, one ear is better than the other, and John is always frying
Oh,
off
interesting.
his guitar.
That-
And I need, because John, like he said, is not usually playing, a lot of times he's playing stuff that isn't, anywhere near the notes that I'm supposed to be singing or the root note that I should be cueing off of. So I need, Sharky's like the glue. He's the kind of keeps everything on the rails, because if I can't hear him, and this did happen recently at a gig where my in-ear monitors weren't great and I couldn't hear Sharky at all. And I completely found myself without any tonal reference on stage, and it was like being lost at sea. It was horrifying. So he really is the part of the band that keeps everything where it's supposed to be, because otherwise I sing in a completely different key than everybody else. If you
Yeah.
can't hear him.
No
Well,
pressure.
thanks for
No
answering.
pressure here. No pressure here.
Yeah, no pressure.
Don't play them on notes, Sharky, and we'll be just fine.
Thank you for answering those, basic questions I'm sure you guys don't think about, and they're very rudimentary and amateur, but I feel like I understand better how the band plays together by what you've just explained. I got the burning question though, the hardest question I told you I was going to ask you is, where did you get the nickname Sharky? Where does that come from?
Well, a drummer that I played with back in the 80s gave it to me, and it stuck. We'll keep it clean, and we'll just say that it was basically along the lines that I'm eating up, going through women like a shark eats fish.
I didn't know that.
We all learned something new. Okay, you can keep. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I wanted to ask you a question about each band member, and if you could, in one word, would you describe the talent that each member brings that enhances you, Jennifer, as an artist?
One word?
Yeah, or give me a couple if you want, but let's talk about John Parrillo
I
on lead
definitely
guitar.
found it on John already, but I would say, and that's not one word, but if you put dashes in between the words, it's kind of one word. I'd say out of the box.
But no, how does he make you better as an artist is the question.
I think he, well, I need more than one word then.
Okay, take as many as you want. It's your show.
Like I think he takes something that could quite possibly be very ordinary, and elevates it to something very unique and different, and gives it a very signature and definable sound. Like I think when people, if we were really big band and famous, they would hear the guitar and they'd be like, oh, we know exactly who that is. You know what I mean? It's like you hear those. And I think, there's a lot of songs I've written by myself on acoustic guitar, and I bring them to him, and it changes instantly into something much richer and deeper, sonically and harmonically and things like that, so definitely helps translate the weirdness in my head that I can't quite express musically for me.
And how about Sharky? What does he bring to you artistically?
Sharky brings, the first thing I would say about Sharky is he brings like ridiculous enthusiasm. Like we text like a zillion times every single day about stuff, and he just brings so much energy and excitement and creative energy too. Like I don't know, every time we're down there, he's riffing off different bass riffs that he's got ideas for, and I can't wait till we sort of, we play the gigs we need to play and we can get back to writing a lot again, because I think there's so much creative energy pent up in him that I cannot wait to pick at and mine at and see where we go from there. And he's solid. Like, like I said, he grounds me on stage, and just he's become an incredible resource for me on so many levels, friendship, music, everything, so it's been really cool getting to know him. I didn't even know how he got his nickname, so I just got that now.
I hope that doesn't change your opinion of him.
I don't know.
Chris, how about Chris? What does Chris bring? Chris isn't here today, but we miss him.
Chris,
And
I adore.
creatively, what does he do for you?
For me, well, first of all, he is he's just he's a great drummer first. I mean, his time is ridiculous. I think we've did 2 songs on the album where we didn't use a click track. A lot of times when you're recording an album, you'll record to like a metronome, a click track, so everyone sort of stays on time and you can, punch in or do things you need to do. But there were a couple songs that we just weren't feeling, with the click track, and he we played them without it, and then, you know, the producer Bob went back and was like, you varied like half a tick on your time on this stuff. Like he's so solid. But he's also, he never stops learning, and he never stops practicing. Like he is constantly going to drum clinics and watching other drummers and trying stuff. So you'll hear all these little things in the album where these cool little rolls or these weird syncopated patterns that a normal drummer, like, you know, a lot of drummers would just not even think to do. And he just adds like this spice to everything too, you know. And we call him Melodious T because he's a very melodic drummer. He just, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And he's really fun to watch, and he's fun to listen to, and you never really know what kind of surprise he's going to pull out, you know, and make you go, whoa, what the heck was that? Do that again. And he remembers usually what he did. Sometimes, see, John will pull off something brilliant and we'll be like, do that again. And he'll be like, what'd I do?
I don't know if I can repeat that.
So we record everything now.
John, what was on the track on the new album? What was the most fun for you to play, and which track was the most challenging for you?
Who are you asking, John?
John, I'm sorry, John.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What was the most challenging to play?
Yeah, and what was the most fun to play? Which one do you like to
Oh.
play the most? And then what was the most maybe challenging to play
On the new album, man.
or to create or to write together?
Wow, that's a tough. There were some that were challenging and some that were fun. I think like most, I think a mix of both. Oh, I have to pause for a second here.
I could probably answer what was challenging for you.
Or any of you? Yeah.
Oh.
Down on My Knees was probably the most challenging.
That in pre-production going forward, yes, that was challenging in terms of like you know, we've said this in numerous times. The song couldn't get out of its own way, and I still was kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, and here we are in the studio. The solo to that, you know, that we talk about that now, that was sort of a one-off thing that like it was kind of like, okay, let's see what you can come up with. And I just like turned up the amp super loud and blew everyone's face off. And it was kind of like one of those things, like you just had to be there. And like, it was like, we all looked at each other like, holy crap, did that just happen? And we kept it. It was like a one-shot deal. That was like super fun, like, and memorable. But so I guess that was like, Sharky's right. That was probably the most challenging, but there was some other songs that I think were, like, I guess like musically challenging to put together. Like Paper Cut is a song we haven't talked about much, but that was also something like, how do we do this slow, creepy song and put together all these pieces? And there's like some slide guitar, there's some sort of like Western sounding tremolo guitar and all these different voicings coming in there. So like, I really like to get into layering in the studio and try to create like an atmosphere, I guess. And so like, that was something that was really fun to do. It had a lot of opportunity, a lot of space to work with.
Atmosphere is a great way to describe a lot of the music on this album. There's a lot of atmosphere. There's a lot of, as you said, textures and layers, and very rich, very full, great new album. We're featuring the new single by Jennifer Tefft and The Strange. It's called Caffeine, and it's at the end of the interview. We're going to play it in its entirety. We're also featuring music from the new album, and some past songs too. So this entire hour is the music from Jennifer Tefft and The Strange. Look for Jennifer Tefft's new single, Going Out, which is going to be dropping in April. Jennifer Tefft and The Strange, the new album, mark your calendar, May 17th, is called Strange Beginnings. Again, you're getting a sneak peek, and thank you so much, guys, for bringing this to us. We're listening to it here, before it's out, so it's great. There's a release party at Koto in Lowell, Massachusetts, on June 17th, and you can June 14th. Thank you. May 17th is the album. June 14th is the release party. Go to Jennifer Tefft. That's Tefft with 2 F's, TEFFT.com, and get more information there. Also go to Rock Garden Records. Rock Garden Records is out of Boston, Massachusetts. They grow rock and roll. Rock Garden Records is a boutique record label providing a complete production and promotional support to new and legacy artists with analog to digital transfer, archiving and distribution, song development and production, and song catalog management. It's rockgardenrecords.com. Okay, so we're going to go to break here right now. We're going to take you out with Breathe. It's off the Cutting for Stone album. Anything you'd like to say about this, Jennifer?
This one was a song that I actually worked on with my old bass player, Jeff St. Pierre, who's a great producer as well. And this one also, it took years actually to find its way too. We messed around with this one for a long time. But it's a little bit different sounding from what we do now, especially in live, but I've always loved it. It's very atmospheric, very chill, just fun to play live too.
It's beautiful. Okay, enjoy, breathe, and we'll be right back with Jennifer Tefft and The Strange. Don't go anywhere.
No Chris, huh? Ooh.